Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. Edgar Allan Poe was born January 19, 1809, and on January 29, 1845, when he was 36 years old, the New York Evening Mirror published his poem, The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Poe's Raven said, "Nevermore." Jean Chapman Snow's Mockingbird says various other things. Here's her poem, Cityscape with Mockingbird. Our ancestors feared moon madness, nay, trembled under its rays. Today it's the sun's light we shun, yet tonight the full moon's pull wakes the tides of my blood. "Chirr, chirr, chirr," warns the mockingbird. Sleep-drenched, I throw back my quilt to follow a streaming path of light to the kitchen. I close my eyes against the harsh fridge light and pour a glass of cold water that tastes like moonlight. "Cheedeet, cheedeet," cries the mockingbird. Like a barefoot votive, I glide across the Persian rug to follow the moon's light, sliding past walls splashed with moonlight, stepping onto my high balcony where car alarms and sirens dissolve into crickets and rustling leaves. "Peter, Peter, Peter," insists the mockingbird. The moon has leached all color. Pink petunias glow white, red geraniums show black. A wash of moonlight robes my body, laps at my toes. I lift my arms and bathe in the moon's cold light. "Chitter, chitter, chitter," exults the mockingbird. Cityscape with Mockingbird, Jean Chapman Snow, from Passenger's 2012 Poetry Contest issue. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, "Nevermore." Poe's Raven, at best, had to be unnerving to the person it visited. Something else that can be unnerving is a bird that keeps flying against a window. That's the subject of Kathy Mangan's poem, Bird at Our Window, The Other. One or the other of them that January christened him the Crazed Cardinal, when after dawn every morning, his relentless batting against any window would startle them awake, unlocking them from separate, unsettling dreams of pursuit and flight. And they'd lie there, not quite touching, listening to the thwap upon glass, until one then the other would leave the bed, rising into that season's sorrow and curiosity, to watch from the second-story railing and note mildly to the other how the cardinal had wedged like a red scar in a gray tangle of branches. And the other might report how on impulse he'd skimmed like a crimson dart to the dormer panes, or now to the door panels, whirling recklessly, again and again, at his reflection, his scarlet breast flaring against the sheer impediment to his desire. And the other might muse on how his black-banded eyes gave him the look of a masked intruder. That was the winter they each were wild with fear that one would leave the other. The cardinal's thrashing arrival broke open their days with spinning wings, a sharp beak pecking at the other mirrored rival. Before descending to the numb morning ritual, coffee, music, fruit, the two of them might pause at the upper landing to observe the bird's frenzied feints, one of them sensing the fierce insistent of his frantic heart, the other wondering what it felt like to be so desperate to be let in. Kathy Mangan's poem, Bird at Our Window, The Other, from her book, Taproot. We'll end with two bird poems by one of Passenger's guiding spirits, Jean Connor. First, The Loon of Frenchman's Bay. Offshore, in pond-like calm, a loon preens himself, black feathers glistening in the morning sun, his white breast meticulous. Riding easily, secure in his talents, confident of the fish, he is content to wait. His cry, when it comes, is not the dailiness of crows or the gull's restless mewing. The tremolo rises from some myth-bound world, crepuscular, a cry that circles back through time. Suddenly he dives, makes a catch, surfaces, gulps, consumes. The Loon of Frenchman's Bay, Jean Connor. I really just wanted to read that because it has the word crepuscular in it. And one more by Jean, not about a raven, but possibly a crow. The title is Possibly a Crow. Something about the slow wing beat, the size, the print of black upon the low gray sky. The bird's entering, but even more his leaving, an absence marked by the sudden widening out of space. The sky still receptive to brush strokes of black long after they have ended. Then peace, soft, akin to a mist-like rain, and in the quiet, the deepened need to go on. Jean Connor's Possibly a Crow, from her book, A Cartography of Peace. To buy A Cartography of Peace or Kathy Mangan's book Taproot, or to subscribe to or learn more about Passager and its commitment to writers over 50, go to PassagerBooks.com. You can download Burning Bright from Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and various other podcast apps. For Kendra, Mary, Christine, Roseanne, and the rest of the Passager staff, nevermore.